part 2 of what I carry in my vehicle in case of emergency, and also to make life a little more comfortable right now. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, make sure you subscribe before you leave and follow me on Instagram and Facebook. If you haven't yet, please watch part 1 of this video set. I'll annotate it above. That is talking about the basics of what you should be carrying in your vehicle year-round, just for your safety's sake and for your comfort. Today, I will be talking about part 2 of that, which are a few things that I carry that don't take up a lot of space, but really add to my safety, my preparedness, and my comfort for running around town or on the travel. Few things that are disclaimers here. One, these are things that can be confined to a small space. Of course, if you could bring the kitchen sink, you'd bring everything. Nobody wants to do that. What I'm suggesting today can be carried in a little pack like this, a little fanny pack size thing, and a little bit extra room to that. So stuff you could stick under a seat, you could stick in your trunk, you could stick anywhere kind of in an extra hole, and it's not going to inconvenience you for your daily use of your vehicle. So with all that, let's jump into it. First thing, some people may say, this is obvious. What are you talking about? What I carry is a little notebook, just like this. It's a little black book that has lined pages in it and 3 Sharpies, 3 different color Sharpies. I do blue, red, and black. Sharpies can write on anything if you need to write on something. This being small, you can write down somebody's license plate number if you get in a wreck, their insurance information. You can also, if you need to, write something down, tear a sheet out and give it to somebody. A lot of people just use their cell phone these days, write notes in the note section. Notebook and Sharpies. Next, a knife. Now, if you follow this channel at all in the past and watch my past videos, you'll know that I'm kind of a knife guy. It's kind of one of my things. A knife is very important to have, not just your everyday carry that you have in your pocket, but also a knife that stays in your vehicle. This is the Benchmade Triage. Some people may say it's an expensive knife just to be driving around in your car, and you're probably right. I carry it because in an emergency situation, I want the best. Used by a lot of emergency services personnel. It also has a nice glass breaker in the back so you can break some glass, and also a hook and or seatbelt cutter. So any knife is fine. Usually a pocket knife that folds so it compacts and saves you space is best. A knife. Make sure you have a knife in your vehicle at all times. Next, flashlight. Some people carry a big flashlight. Me, I carry a really small one. This is the Olight S1R Baton. It's a rechargeable flashlight. It is small, it's compact, it has a good lighting. The clip is really neat because you can actually clip it on stuff. It's also, the back is magnetic, so nighttime, got your hood up, maybe you have the light on the hood, maybe not, but if not, something's wrong under there, you can stick this to your hood and it'll shine down on your engine so you can see what's going on. A light like this that is multi-use, that doesn't take up a ton of room and is rechargeable is a great idea to have in your vehicle. This has a little magnetic thing that goes on the back and a USB on the other end, so I can charge this in my truck and use it as long as I have battery in my batteries of my truck. This will work. So S1R Baton 2 from Olight. All right, next, this is a tricky one. I carry a small can of WD-40. Why WD-40? Not just because of my squeaky doors. WD-40, if you've never done it before, you should go online and see all the neat things you can do with WD-40. On the front, they talk about squeaks, removes and protects, loosens rust, sticky mechanisms, and drives out moisture. What I've found with WD-40, it's incredibly flammable, so it's great for starting a fire if you ever need to, which we'll talk about fire starting here in a second. Anything that needs lubrication, this is a cost-effective, neat way to carry lubrication. WD-40 little can like this to save space. Again, I usually stick this in my glove box and carry it around. I also have a center console in my truck. It'll hang around there for a while, but do yourself a favor. Small can WD-40. All right, next is something to start fire. So I carry 2 different little packs here. I carry the Zippo Typhoon match kit. So these are waterproof matches. These things literally, if you watch videos online, you can stick this in water and then pull it out. You got your striker on the back here. Strike it and it'll start. People just stick them in under kindling or something to get started. These are what I choose. You can carry just a regular lighter if you want. I would suggest a couple different ways. I normally have some sort of lighter in my truck as well, just because that's a little bit easier. But these are a great backup and a great thing to have. And with that, I also have a ferrocerium rod, a ferro rod. And with that, in this little tin pack I have some, oh, it's coming apart here. Right. Some sawdust and some little sticks of fat wood. I am a logger son and I grew up logging. We call this pine with some sap in it, but the clicky thing to call it is fat wood. So it's really sappy. It burns really, really easy. Pretty much even if it's wet, because it doesn't absorb like regular wood does. So get yourself, I just have a little tin of it that goes in my pack. These will make a hard place to start a fire real easy. That ferro rod, matches, have a little match or fire making kit. It's not necessarily I never go out in the woods. Why would I want to do that? Well, yeah, maybe you don't, but maybe you go out to a camping, or maybe you go for the day out by the lake and it gets in the evening, cools off, you didn't realize it, you want to start a fire to keep everybody happy. You got a little kit here to start a fire and make it a lot easier for you. Fire starting kit. Next up, let me get it out of my little duffel bag here. But I have, and this takes up a little bit more space, but I think it's well worth it. I carry a first aid kit. What this is Band-Aids, gauze, tape, antiseptic, aspirin, ibuprofen, those sort of things that everyday use you would need. Oh man, I'm driving down the road and I get a headache. Does anybody have any ibuprofen? No? Go in here and grab some. The kid cuts themselves, get them a Band-Aid. Those sort of situations to where it's not necessarily life and death. I got this off of Amazon. It's like 121 pieces and I got it for like $12. In fact, all of this I will link down below to where I got it. Get something like this, something that's useful that you'll use, that you can pull out at any time and use for everyday use. If you want to add to this, by all means, add to it. If you're comfortable with your different first aid stuff, do that. But for me, this is the level that I'm super comfortable with, and it's also compact. So first aid kit, do that. All of this goes into, and I bought this from Arctic, but you can get whatever. It's a fanny pack. I put everything in here, zip it all up. It's not waterproof, but it's water resistant. And I zip it all up and put it under my seat. Gives me everything compact. Arctic charges $20-25 for these. I got the camo one. They have different colors. Check these out. Two quick things. One that goes with the first aid. I carry extra Advil/ibuprofen. I have some in here, but for some reason with my family, ibuprofen is the #1 thing that we usually use when we're out. And lastly, you saw my other flashlight, but I also carry a headlamp, even though that one will clip on like my hat and I can walk around. This is a headlight lamp version. So you can, if it's nighttime, you can have this headlamp. It goes up and down. These are maybe $10 on Amazon or at your local sporting goods store. All right, two more things. I love this thing. And I don't know, maybe it's just a testosterone thing. I don't know. But if it is, I don't care. So this is the Tomahawk. Okay, this is made by a former firefighter, and he's made it for firefighters. There's this small version, and then there's a full version that looks like a full-on axe. This is kind of an emergency tool for people that need something in a pinch. I carry it because if I come up on a car that's on fire that I need to get somebody out, or a tree in the way that needs to be cut out of the way, or whatever else, this thing is a beast and I'll get it done. You can see I've used it a little bit. So it has a pry bar on the bottom where you can pry on whatever you need. It also has kind of a not necessarily a nail remover, but kind of like that. A good strong handle to where you can one arm it if you want. Big, aggressive, curved blade that I try to keep super sharp and is super sharp. I'll take this out a few times a year and do some work with it just so I'm familiar with it. Has the Pulaski style plow on the backs. It has that in order to do that job. Has a handle up here, so if you want to pry, you can get leverage and you can pry. It also has a handle right here, so if you need to do small work, you can with this thing. Tomahawk, really sweet, and if nothing else, with the testosterone. Oh, and aside to that, I also got this custom made sheath for it. It doesn't come with a sheath. There are sheaths out there. I got this custom kayak sheath made for it. So I will link below also to the Instagram page of the gentleman that made this for me. He's a good dude. Link down below to him as well. All right, the last piece of gear that I carry year-round on a daily basis, and this one is a little bit of a fib because during the summertime I carry this in my boat. But the rest of the year I carry this in my truck, and that is a throw bag of rope. And this one is by NRS. It's a NRS's Rescue Series. This is, I believe, 50 feet of 5/8 rope, or maybe 75 feet, I don't remember. But if you've ever used a throw bag before, this is meant for if somebody's in the river and floating down the river and you need to throw out there so they can grab something so you can tug them in. This is what this is for. So I carry this in my dry box on my boat, but I also, in the off season, will carry this in my truck. Why? Think of all the uses that you can use in some sort of emergency situation with rope. It's not a lot of space. It's probably next to the fanny pack, the most space that you take up, but it's well worth it for your peace of mind because, again, I always think about the fact if I come up on an emergency situation and I need to help someone, can I help them? And if I can't and I kick myself because I'm not carrying a $50 thing of rope or a $100 tomahawk, and that person, something happens with that person, I'm going to kick myself and I'm going to hate that. So these are things, all of these, that can fit in a small area. They don't take up a ton of space, and for you, they can really make a difference for your life. Last thing that I don't have on the table that I do carry, this is a convenience thing more than anything. I carry a thing of either baby wipes or those moist towelette, for lack of a better term, butt wipe things. Those are they're the little packs. Those mixed with Kleenex. If you have any sort of spills, your hands are dirty for any reason, your feet are dirty after you've been at the beach for the day, whatever. Those are a nice thing to have to clean up, roll up, and you can put them in a sack and throw them away later. So I carry a pack of those, but I didn't put them on the thing today. So that's it. That is my emergency preparedness comfort level for my vehicle. If you have something that you feel that I've missed outside of these that doesn't take up a bunch of room, please comment below. I didn't even dive into towing ropes, things like that, cables. All those things are kind of a next level different thing. This is just for the average person. This affects 80% of people that are out there driving. You could carry this and all of this would be useful to you and not take up a bunch of space. Once again, before you leave, click subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time.
Here comes the noise, bringing it loud, like a stadium shaking the ground.